blessings. This is Nubia I, the Raw Food Goddess, the Womb Priestess, and a Holistic Practitioner. Good afternoon. Actually, I'm doing a video pretty late in the afternoon for me, but I was inspired. So yes, I took my 2-hour bath. I know you're like, what else is new, Nubia? That's what you do. And I had this wonderful conversation with a beautiful African sister who was living in the UK. And it was such an inspiring consultation, a one-on-one that she had with me, so that it brought out so many things, and I wanted to share some of the things that I shared with her. I wanted to share with you as well. So we're kind of going to talk about, actually we're talking about spirituality. Spirituality according to my knowledge, my wisdom, and my experience, and what I understand. And so we're going to talk a little bit about losing a loved one and the grieving process and how to get through it in the best way. And we're also going to talk about divine purpose and higher self and whatever else comes up. So first, let's talk about, and we're going to talk about living, wanting to eat vegan or wanting to eat more healthy, but living in a household where you're living with your parents or your family that don't eat those kind of meals and makes it difficult for you. So let me say something that I want to get off like my chest like right away is I want to talk about our higher self. And so when you hear that term higher self, I mean, what does that imply to you? Does it imply to you that this self is outside of yourself? Is this self outside of the person that you can see and look at and feel and talk to every day and feel especially? Or do you look at your higher self as you, but a better version of you, so it's within you and not outside of you? Or how do you see your higher self? Because this is how I see a higher self, and I'm going to definitely put it in a visual form so that I want you to get it. So let's say that you have that feeling. You know how you have that feeling, they describe it as longing. Like, oh, I'm longing for something more. Oh, life has got to be better than this. Oh, I can't deal with the 9 to 5. When is it going to change? When is it going to get better? Oh, life is so hard. When am I going to have what I really want? And then when I believe that when that longing starts to come up, when you start to long for the things that you don't have, that it is your higher self that's actually experiencing those things. Your higher self is experiencing all the things that you want. All the things that you desire, all the things that you think about, you visualize, you see in your mind's eye, your higher self is partying, y'all. Your higher self is doing the thing, having the dream, living it on some alternative reality or alternate reality. Your higher self is doing it. That's why you long for it. Because that higher self is a part of you, but to me it's further than you. It's ahead of you. It's your higher self. And why it can do the things that you long for, why you long for is first of all part of yourself, the higher self is doing it, but why it can do things that you seemingly cannot do is because the higher self is not limited by the body. The higher self is your spirit. It is the spirit that knows the truth, sees the truth, that is not deterred, that is not doubtful, that is not fearful, that is not egotistical, that knows, not just believes that there's more, but is living it. And the reason why you long for it because it's such a part of you. And you're living, you wanting to live it. So now how do you do that when you that you identify as this body, this waist, this hips, this voice, this hair, this physical body that you identify as, the you that you know, the you that you think you know, it's in a body. So therefore it is denser, therefore it is heavier, therefore it cannot go through the walls. It might not be able to travel through those alternate realities. It might not be able to go where your higher self can go because again it's not limited by the body. So how do you get this body, the self you identify as yourself, and this higher self, which you know is living another reality, which you know is partying, which you know is hiring, how do you get them to meet as one and so that you can move with your higher self and you can be with your higher self and you can go with your higher self? Well, you have to fine-tune this body. You have to fine-tune this body. I always talk about vibrational frequencies. So your higher self is living at a different vibrational frequency, obviously a higher vibrational frequency. So you have to get the body to move up in vibrational frequency at a higher level, at a more rapid pace. And one way to do that is through food. That is what I'm realizing with raw foods. It actually moves you to that space where you're not stuck into the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the doubt, the anger, because that is all held in your body, all those feelings, every time you've been hurt, every time you've been wounded, every time you were told no when you wanted to hear yes, or yes when you wanted to hear no. Every time you didn't get what you want, it's stored into your body. But your higher self takes none of that. And also think about it, the foods that you eat, this is my opinion, specifically when you're eating meat diets. I mean, did you ever try carrying a cow around? Even a baby cow? They're heavy. Try carrying a horse around, or a buffalo, or any other of these animals. They are heavy. So therefore, everything about them is heavy. And even think about it, the idea of that they're being raised for cattle, being raised as cattle to be killed so that you can eat your hamburgers or whatever, or the pigs for your pork chops or your bacon or whatever. They're heavy animals. So they're not just physically heavy, they're mentally heavy, because they know that they are about to be slaughtered. They know that they're about to be killed. So they're carrying fear and doubt. They're not comfortably eating and then they have one bad day. As a so-called food expert said one day, you know, it's okay as long as they're being grown humanely, as long as they're being treated right, and then when they get slaughtered that day, they get killed, they just had one bad day. You know, no, it's not one bad day. They're a lot more intelligent than we think that they are. And put it this way, they're a lot more instinctual. So it's nothing to do with intelligence. Intelligence gets us in trouble as humans. Instinct is what we need to move, to go, to be with our higher self, to have the inkling to travel and to do it, to learn another language and to do it. That is really more spiritual. And spiritual to me is about instinct and intuition and following it. And I think animals do that way better than we do. And so, but because of the situations that they're in, that's unnatural and they're feeling, they're knowing it, then you eat that animal. And now you're not just carrying all the stuff that happened to you because you didn't get the job, you didn't get the man, or you didn't get the woman, or you didn't get the thing that you wanted. But now you're carrying the weights, literally the mental, physical, and spiritual weight of this animal. When you release that from your body, at least now you're only dealing with your own stuff and not the stuff of another living being. And so now you got a fighting chance, as they say, right? So what you want to do then is decide that, and then you start thinking about cooked food. There are great cooked foods, healthy cooked foods. You could live a long life eating a plant-based diet, a cooked plant-based diet. I am not going to sit here and say that you can't, that you won't do better, that you won't feel better than you did when you ate meat. You are going to feel great. But then, that's great, it's relative, right? And then you say to yourself, well, what if I could maintain all of the minerals, all of the vitamins in my food and not alter it at all? What if I didn't boil or cook or bake or barbecue or char or destroy my food, or at least the enzymes in my food, or the active, you know what, the life force. Let's not get into enzymes because people have debates about that. Let's not get into minerals. The life force, what makes my food alive, which makes my food sun fire, which is cooked by the sun. What if I took in that? How would I feel? Will you feel lighter? You have more energy. You think more. You feel like you're connected to spirit. You're getting your downloads. You're open. You can move. So you don't just have, you know, I see all these big preachers and some of them are amazing, but they're so heavy. So you don't just have that you're connected to spirit, because spirit does talk to everyone. It don't matter to me if you're large or small or tall or short or black or white or in between. Spirit talks to everyone. But the idea is, don't you want to be here to implement? Don't you want to feel good while Spirit is talking to you? Don't you want to get up and run and shout it to the world what you're doing? And when you're eating raw foods, you're not carrying around the extra, the cooked oils that become rancid once they're cooked. You're not carrying around the depleted foods. You're not carrying around the lack of enzymes. You're not carrying around those foods that then now feel heavy. Go raw for 30 days and go back to cooked vegan foods and tell me if you don't feel heavier with the cooked foods. There is a difference. And so you're upping your vibrational rate physically. So your body is in that mode that it wants to move and wants to grow. And so you're not, you're not anchored by things that are holding you back. You're not doubtful. A lot of the fear go away. Many raw fooders say depression has disappeared. They have a more better outlook on life. They found their divine purpose. They can hear spirit more. They're more flexible. They're doing more yoga and Pilates. They're able to get up and run. Some were carrying a lot of weight or waste, so they are actually lighter in body. So they're more open to the alternative. They're more open to the alternate realities. They're more open to the things that they cannot see with their eyes, or that they can see. They're beyond that. And so they are allowed, they are meeting their divine purpose. They are meeting their higher self. And they're able to ascend not to die and to leave the body, but to join the body and the higher self as one. So their higher self is only slightly ahead, just enough to say, I saw what's up ahead. I've seen the unknown. You do not have to be afraid. You do not have to be scared. You do not have to be doubtful. You do not have to cry. You do not have to hold on to pain. I've seen it. And it's okay. And your body, your mind is so clear and so open, you go, okay, I'm willing to take that chance. And you go with it. And so if you want to, if you're feeling doubtful, if you know you have all these talents and abilities, you know that your physical game is good, you know what you know, you speak different languages, you travel around the world, you know your mission, you want to help teach children or women, you already know, but you're not doing it. And when you realize you're not doing it, you realize you're fearful, you're doubtful, you're scared, you're afraid. When you feel that, check out what's on your plate and see if it may have experienced fear or doubt, been scared or afraid. And then go deeper and go, how can you up your rate? What does juices do? What does green smoothies do? Investigate. Have the food. The best way to learn about raw foods is not reading about it, but eating it and experiencing it and doing it for a certain amount of time, at least 21 days. And for those that really want to get into the raw food right now, I did a raw food intensive. I did it in July. I hope it's July. I did it in July. And I have a Blackberry Beauty Academy where I did a 4-week intensive, virtual intensive about raw foods. If you're interested, you can have all the replays, the worksheets, everything, the bundle. You can still have it for $97. So you can still order it and go back and look at them videos and decide how to be raw, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. So if you want that. So I just want to say it's on my website. So here we go, right? So you're with your higher self, you're doing this. I'm telling y'all, I knew a lot. I had a lot of information. I read metaphysical books. I watched Black history and Black conscious movies and videos and DVDs. I stayed in bookstores for hours. I really was a hermit. I did Sacred Women, still doing it, Queen of Four. Took salt baths and went to retreats and hot springs and things that, psychic readings, and learned about crystals and all these things, but I was still not living it. It wasn't until I got on the raw foods that it all connected, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was doing all of that, not just because I love to do it, it was my divine purpose. It is my divine purpose. Everything I've done thus far has led me to this moment right now. And so, I thank you. I wanted to talk about that, and I got that in with the higher self and your food. So now I want to talk about losing a parent, especially your mother or your father, the closest people to you. November 1st was the anniversary of my mother's death. She has been passed, deceased, or has transitioned now for 7 years. And even though it's 7 years, I get those moments. I see her picture. I feel her presence around me, and I cry, or I question. I ask her, why did you have to leave so early? Where are you? Where are you? Why? I want you to see me doing the things that you knew that I could do, that you told me that I can do. I want you to see me doing it. And I'll tell y'all, When your parents have to leave, when somebody you love, especially your mother or your father, this is my belief. When they leave so that you can grow further. A lot of times when we have that confidant, that person that's always there to tell us we could do it, you could do it, you could do it, and they leave and you go, well, who's going to tell me I can do it? You are. You're going to tell you. Sometimes you're not going to be able to grow if your mom or your dad is always there guiding you and leading you. Because at some point, the teacher, you have to become the master. So the teacher is there to give you so that you can, in a sense, teach them. It's your turn to be the leader. It's your turn to be the matriarch. It's your turn to chart your own course. And they leave not to leave you, not to not be connected to you, not to leave you out there all alone, not knowing what to do, where to go. They actually go to the other side so that they can be of more of assistance to you, because they understand that the body can be a hindrance. They understand the density of the body. They understand the heaviness of the body. They understand the slowness and the rate of the body. And so they leave the body so that they can be in their higher self, so they can guide you. So you're not alone. The questions you would ask your mom and dad, if they're deceased now, when they were alive, the questions you would ask them those questions still. They still want to help you. They still want to guide you. And I know a lot of you, especially I know a lot of people that are probably Christian or religious. I know this is blasphemous. This is probably heathenism. This is, devil worshiping, or, calling up ancestors. That's your mother. If you loved your mother in the flesh, why wouldn't you love your mother in the spirit? That's your father. How could that be evil to talk to your mother and your father? And I'll talk about the ones that love their mother and their father. They are with you. That is the African way. That is the African belief. We must go back to our roots. Go back to the truth of who and what we are, and stop being so afraid. We cannot disconnect ourselves from our ancestors. We cannot disconnect ourselves from our mothers and fathers. Even when we try, they come up in our womb issues. They come up in our fibroid tumors. They come up in our endometriosis. They come up in our healing abandonment issues. They keep coming up. So you better get with your mother and your father that's deceased. You better know that they're giving you signs. They're giving you ideas. They're giving you thoughts. They're giving you intuition. They're pushing you even more towards your goal, because they can help you in ways that they could not before. Are you listening? Are you listening? That's what Spirit said to me. Tell them, ask them, are you listening? Are you seeing the signs? Are you being aware? As I talked to my client today from the UK, she says, I am aware and I'm open. I said, that's all you need. If you are aware and you are open, then you are understanding that there's something that you were taught. It ain't everything. Especially if you was taught out of some religious text only. What do you feel? Do you miss your mother and father that's not here? Do you miss your loved ones? Do you feel their presence often? But your religion tells you to ignore it? That's not fair. That's not fair to you. That could be the solace that you need to move forward. Our ancestors don't die. They ascend. And we want to ascend. And what we're doing, what we're learning, hopefully if you're watching my videos and other metaphysical videos, what we're learning is that we don't have to die to ascend. We don't have to die to ascend. When we eat better foods, we're ascending. When we follow our intuition, we're ascending. When we heal womb issues, we're ascending. When we let go of something old and replace it with something new, and we learn that new thing, we're ascending. Right here in the flesh. So we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to die, so to speak, to live. But in a sense, we do. Our old self has to die. Our old way of thinking, our old belief systems, they do have to die. So are you ready to die so that you can be reborn again? Are you ready for that? It's such a beautiful thing, like Spirit has really talked to me. I'm so joyous, I'm so happy. As you all know, I am doing an intensive. It starts this Friday, November 7th. Sensuality, sexuality, and adornment. That's why I got my little cute dress on. There's nothing wrong with the human body. There's nothing wrong with what's between my legs. There is nothing wrong with the way that I express myself through my body, as long as I am constantly fine-tuning, as long as I'm respecting it as a sacred altar, as long as I'm not defiling my altar, which is my body, as long as I'm keeping my mind open and being aware, as long as I'm adorning myself, knowing that I'm creating a relationship with spirit, that I'm being protected by the colors that I wear, by the fabrics that I wear, by the things that I say, by the words that I say. I know I'm being protected. I know that there is more to life than what we could see. I don't want you to sit here and be longing and never happens, and you're wondering why, and you're being depressed. I do one-on-one consultations. Go to my website at www.theblackberrybeauty.com and get in touch with me if that is what you're in need of. Join an intensive. This is my life. This is what I do, and I am so thankful for it. So every day, this is something I gave my client to do today, and I want to give this to you as well. There's a belief in the metaphysics, in the metaphysical realm, if you will, that says the more you give thanks, the more the universe gives you to be thankful for. So I want you daily to write down everything you're thankful for and why. And it could be as simple as, I'm thankful I ate today. I'm thankful I could see. I'm thankful that I speak another language. I'm thankful that I got to travel to Bermuda or Jamaica or wherever last year. I'm thankful that I have a great husband or a great wife. I'm thankful every day. And the universe will give you more wonderful things to be thankful for, because remember, when you're thankful for something and you speak it and you write it, that is prayer. That is prayer. Remember, prayer is just something we memorize and we use it when we need it. We use it when we need to defend ourselves against evil, to protect ourselves against evil, to bring in more love and abundance. We use it to speak to our Creator. So when you are giving thanks, you are praying. And so the mind doesn't know that what you're asking for and what you're giving thanks for is not happening right now. So give thanks for the things unseen. Give thanks for the things to come as if it's here right now. And ask your ancestors to bring it on the wings. Bring it on their wings and deliver those things to you. And then know that you deserve to have it. I know as women especially, we are such mothers, we are such spouses, we are such there for everyone else but ourselves. And when women look like they're doing things for themselves, other people get upset or shun, or we don't know how to balance it. We don't know how to be mothers and still take care of our men and love our men, but also be women to ourselves and take care of ourselves. We're going to have a ball in sensuality, sexuality, and adornment. So much is coming out of me from it. And I want to share with you. So I hope you go to my website, and I hope you be a part of that. Also, if you want a one-on-one consultation, information on the website. Anyway, Spirit has moved me. I hope I've done Spirit justice. I hope I have spoken the words that Spirit has got me as clearly and precisely as possible. I want to just do the will of the Creator. I want to be in my higher self. I want to meet my higher self up the block and run, skip along with my higher self to my destiny. How about you? Do you want that as well? I think you do. I love you all very much. This is Nubia I, the Rawful Goddess, the Womb Priestess, and the Holistic Practitioner, and I'm sending you an abundance of awareness and openness. Peace and blessings.